More than 1,000 bikers arrived in Palm Springs, California this past weekend. They wore black leather vests bearing Mongol warrior patches and rode in on roaring motorcycles. But they were not the only ones there. Helicopters circled overhead, drones tracked movements, and hundreds of law enforcement officers from multiple agencies were deployed across the city. By Monday morning, authorities had made 22 arrests and seized 9 firearms. This was not an ordinary motorcycle gathering. It was one of the most extensive police surveillance operations of the year. The Mongols Motorcycle Club had come to town for their annual national run, and law enforcement was prepared. On Friday, October 3rd, 2025, Palm Springs Police Chief Andrew Mills posted a warning on Facebook. The Mongols Motorcycle Club was arriving for their national event. Mills made it clear that the weekend would be anything but quiet. The Mongols roll deep. We roll deeper, he wrote, sharing a photo of a briefing room filled with officers from multiple agencies. His post was accompanied by AC/DC's Highway to Hell. The Palm Springs Police Department also issued a community alert warning residents of increased police presence throughout the weekend due to the Mongols National Run. Authorities cautioned that a large number of motorcycles would be visible around the city. The Mongols established their base of operations at Hotel Zoso in downtown Palm Springs, with overflow lodging at nearby Hilton and Hyatt hotels. Police estimated that around 1,000 members would attend, traveling from across the United States for what the club calls Church, a national business meeting where members elect leadership and conduct internal affairs. This was not the first time the Mongols had chosen Palm Springs for their national run. The club has gathered in the desert city periodically for more than 15 years. According to Lieutenant Gustavo Ariza, a spokesperson for the Palm Springs Police Department, the club notifies authorities in advance, and the department responds with a coordinated, multi-agency plan. However, Chief Mills took a more aggressive stance this year. In his Facebook statement, he referred to the Mongols as an outlaw motorcycle gang and noted that many members were convicted criminals. Within just a few hours of the event's start, police had already seized 3 firearms and other illegal items. The operation involved far more than local police. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department, California Highway Patrol, and the Riverside County District Attorney's Office all took part. Police from nearby cities provided support, while helicopters and drones monitored from above. Mills clarified that federal agencies such as ICE and Homeland Security investigations were not involved, addressing community concerns about immigration enforcement. Who are the Mongols? The Mongols Motorcycle Club was founded on December 5, 1969, in Montebello, California, by 10 men, mostly Vietnam War veterans. They named the club after Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire, intending to project strength and fearlessness. The first national president, Luis Costello, and the original sergeant-at-arms, Alonso Big Al Alves, who had served 3 tours in Vietnam, helped shape the club's militant culture. The Mongols were formed partly in response to the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, which at the time did not allow non-white members. The founders, primarily Hispanic bikers from East Los Angeles, created their own organization. In 1974, the Mongols voted to become an outlaw motorcycle club, rejecting the authority of law enforcement and mainstream society. The group expanded rapidly, recruiting heavily from California prisons, such as the California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo. Within a decade, the Mongols had established chapters across Southern California, including Los Angeles, Long Beach, San Diego, and Bakersfield. The U.S. Department of Justice officially classifies the Mongols as an organized crime group, describing them as an extremely violent threat in the Pacific and southwestern United States. According to federal authorities, Members are involved in crimes such as drug and weapons trafficking, assault, intimidation, and murder. Today, the club's membership is estimated at around 2,000 full-patch members worldwide, with chapters across North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. The Mongols logo, a caricature of a Mongol warrior riding a motorcycle, is a registered trademark. Members wear it proudly on their leather vests, or colors. Law enforcement reports that certain patches carry deadly significance. A skull and crossbones patch may indicate that the member has killed for the club, and the tattoo RFN, Respect Few, Fear None, is allegedly reserved for those who have attacked rival Hells Angels members. The club's mottos, such as Live Mongol, Die Mongol, and Mongols Forever, Forever Mongols, emphasize absolute loyalty and lifelong brotherhood. A history of violence. The Mongols' violent history explains the scale of the law enforcement response in Palm Springs. Since 1977, the club has been engaged in a bloody feud with the Hells Angels, rooted largely in competition over control of California's methamphetamine trade. On September 5, 1977, Mongols President Emerson Morris and member Raymond Smith were ambushed and killed by Hells Angels while riding home from a motorcycle run. Their deaths marked the beginning of a violent feud that would span decades. On May 21, 2017, Mongols member Joshua Ryan Herbert opened fire on 5 Hells Angels members who were refueling their motorcycles at a Shell gas station in Riverside, California. Herbert killed one man, James Duty, and wounded another. He was later convicted of first-degree murder and attempted murder as an active participant in a criminal street gang. Federal prosecutors have repeatedly targeted the Mongols through large-scale RICO cases. In early 2025, 6 members of the Clarksville, Tennessee Mongols chapter were convicted of racketeering conspiracy involving murder, kidnapping, drug trafficking, and other crimes. Between 2015 and 2017, that chapter distributed more than 50 pounds of nearly pure methamphetamine worth roughly $1 million. One of their most disturbing crimes occurred on May 22, 2015, when Clarksville members kidnapped and murdered a young mother they believed had stolen narcotics, money, and firearms. They abducted her at gunpoint, drove her to a remote cemetery, and shot her multiple times, killing her. In October 2008, nearly 80 Mongols members were arrested during Operation Black Rain, a major federal investigation led by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF. 4 male undercover ATF agents successfully infiltrated the gang and earned full membership, while 4 female agents posed as their girlfriends. The agents underwent background checks, polygraph tests, and constant scrutiny from the gang's private investigators. The Justice Department used an unprecedented legal strategy, attempting to seize the Mongols' trademark and logo under civil forfeiture laws. In January 2019, a federal jury convicted the Mongol nation of RICO violations and ordered the forfeiture of their logo, finding the organization responsible for murder, attempted murder, and narcotics trafficking. However, appeals courts later overturned the forfeiture, ruling that it violated First Amendment rights and protections against excessive punishment under the Eighth Amendment. In July 2025, the FBI arrested 28 Mongols members in Florida during Operation Mongolian Beef, following a violent brawl and shooting at Bike Week in New Smyrna Beach on March 8, 2025. All 28 were charged with aggravated rioting, a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison. In April 2025, 2 Mongols members, Clifford Michael Lavoie and Julian Pleto, were charged with assault and murder after a confrontation with a Mongols Motorcycle Club member at a bar in Ontario, California. According to prosecutors, the pair demanded that the victim show respect to the Mongols. When the man tried to flee, Pleto allegedly shot him multiple times in the back. He died at the scene. These cases are only part of a long pattern of violence associated with the Mongols. The club is allied with the Mexican Mafia and Sureños gangs in Southern California, and with Nuestra Familia and Norteños in Northern California. Working with the Tijuana cartel, the Mongols are believed to distribute wholesale quantities of cocaine throughout the Los Angeles area. The Palm Springs operation. Given this criminal history, Palm Springs police prepared extensively for the Mongols' 2025 National Run. The operation began Friday afternoon as members arrived at Hotel Zoso in downtown Palm Springs. A reporter from the Desert Sun described a massive law enforcement presence surrounding the hotel. Officers from multiple agencies were stationed throughout the area, and within hours, 3 firearms had already been seized. Chief Andrew Mills shared updates online showing a room full of officers coordinating from the hotel. Throughout Friday night and into Saturday, Mongols members could be seen riding through downtown Palm Springs in their distinctive leather vests. Residents reported the constant roar of motorcycles as groups moved between hotels and meeting spots. Police maintained a strong presence, conducting continuous traffic enforcement to ensure order. According to Lieutenant Gustavo Ariza, about 150 people were stopped for traffic violations during the 3-day event. The aerial surveillance effort was extensive. Helicopters circled the skies and drones monitored the crowds, recording movements for evidence in case violence erupted. Despite the heavy law enforcement presence, the weekend remained relatively peaceful. There were no major fights, shootings, or mass disturbances. The overwhelming show of force appeared to have deterred potential violence. However, officers still made strategic arrests for weapons offenses, outstanding warrants, and other charges. The goal was to target the most dangerous individuals while monitoring the larger group. By Sunday afternoon, as the event concluded, Mongols members began leaving Palm Springs. The rumble of motorcycles heading out of town marked the end of the gathering. Police then conducted their final sweep and began compiling results. The results. On Monday, October 6th, 2025, Chief Mills released the official summary of the operation. 22 arrests, 9 firearms seized, multiple other weapons, and contraband recovered. Mills praised the coordinated effort, stating, "When outlaw motorcycle gangs descend on a city while armed illegally, there is always the potential for graphic violence." Palm Springs Police, along with the California Highway Patrol, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, and other partners, did an outstanding job setting the tone for what is acceptable in our city. He drew a clear distinction between the Mongols and other organizations that visit Palm Springs. "We welcome many groups and conventions to our city. Rarely do we have to make arrests. The Mongols are the exception." While the names and charges of those arrested were not immediately released, police confirmed that the arrests were directly tied to the club's presence and activities during the National Run. The operation required significant resources, with hundreds of officers working overtime. Helicopters, drones, and interagency coordination added to the costs, but officials said the investment was necessary to ensure public safety. Lieutenant Ariza emphasized that the department made a strong effort to reassure the public that immigration and customs enforcement and homeland security investigations were not involved. This was strictly a public safety operation targeting a known criminal organization, he said. The Mongols have held their annual national run in Palm Springs for over a decade, usually without major incidents. Police believe that the large, visible law enforcement presence is what keeps it that way. The October 2025 event demonstrated the challenges of policing outlaw motorcycle gangs in modern times. The Mongols claim to be a legitimate motorcycle club, with constitutional rights to free speech and assembly. Current club president David Santillan insists that the organization is not a criminal enterprise and says the club has changed its internal rules to exclude drug users and convicted criminals. Nevertheless, the U.S. Department of Justice continues to classify the Mongols as an organized crime group. Dozens of members have been convicted of serious federal crimes, including murder, drug trafficking, and racketeering. Chief Mills's hardline approach, including his social media posts featuring AC/DC's Highway to Hell, drew some criticism for being overly confrontational. But Mills defended his tactics, arguing that the 22 arrests and 9 seized firearms proved the operation's effectiveness. The Mongols are expected to return to Palm Springs next year for their national run. When they do, the city's police will once again mobilize hundreds of officers, deploy helicopters and drones, and maintain round-the-clock surveillance. As Chief Mills summarized, the Mongols roll deep. We roll deeper.